Thank you, Mr. Sahu and VAR India, for giving CtrlS and Cloud4C this opportunity. Let me pick up on the thread that was being taken up by the previous speaker of being a service provider. CtrlS as a data center is one of the key components which is powering the hyperscale phenomena in India. We have close to a fourth of a market share with us. Cloud4C, on the other hand, is a cloud service provider and an MSP. So with that, let me begin my topic of AI. Okay. So, as spoken earlier, the world is producing 272 zettabytes of data. Since morning, we have been hearing concerns related to social. But is AI only around social, you and me, in our personal capacity? Or is AI something beyond it? From the Gen AI market, if you see, the Gen AI market is exploding. The chat GPTs that we use are in our professional capacities. I still can vouch there are very few professional chat GPT users for their personal capacity. Now, where would it make an impact? It's a kitty of $15.7 trillion. India's dream is $5 to $6 trillion. We're talking about an impact of $15.7 trillion, out of which, if you see on the right-hand side of the screen, a whole lot of $3.8 trillion can be accrued by the manufacturing sectors, which means this interpretation or engagement of human and machine collaboration, bettering our manufacturing processes, creating goods that are consumed by an end user, that are manufactured in a right way, is one of the major focuses of the AI. In the second segment, you see drugs. We saw that how during COVID, it was not a 15-year or a 10-year cycle. It was 1/10 of that cycle that you got the vaccine out. And therefore, the future of molecular research around drug discovery, around simulations, around using digital twins for testing is where it's going to make an impact. And the third impact will be on the convenience of an end user to use consumer goods to go out in the market. For example, I mean a simple mobile phone is an example to you. Today, a mobile phone can hold both an email application, a banking application. It is also a camera. No longer we use cameras out there. It is also a multimedia device to talk. This ease of use is being benefited by enhancing the intelligence of a device which at one point was only for voice communications. So as CIOs, and what's our role? Our role in this emerging tech is to focus on the core, drive the maximum for our businesses. If you just take a keyword analysis, the topmost keyword coming out is generative AI. And let me lay out a scenario for you. For example, let's say we are heading a knock function. Let us say the SOC person comes in. We have heard a lot about cybersecurity and laws. And how would a SOC person tell us? Let us say he has found some nefarious hacker into my system. The communication that their tools use is, I have found an indicator of compromise in this server. Just think from a sysadmin side, whether he's a network admin, whether he's a database administrator, it is illegible to him. For him, a network guy needs to know what should I do to protect my networks from whatever you are saying. Or a system guy should know what should I do to remove the traces of that intruder into the system. Now that's where the chat GPT comes in. That's where your generative models come in. Because, and even as I speak, if you look at the latest tools, you could just push this IOC into some LLM model and say, what's the impact on me? And it will very simply say, aha, this is a threat actor, these IPs are bad, please block them at your gateway. Or if you are a sysadmin, it will say, they use these tools, these are the systems tool, better is to reinstall your server. I mean, that's the outer effect that you are looking at to protect your own systems from such threats. So this bridge in gap around security versus ERP, whatever is the code words, is being looked upon from a generative model. So even as we speak, there are several priorities of the CIOs that he has to go in to adopt this AI model. First of all, he has to understand where it makes an impact. Second, he has to create a business case to explain the other people how does it impact their business processes. Finally, he has to have a landing environment in which he has requisite skill sets to manage those systems and then deliver the results. A Gen AI implementation, very simply, I can say the best place could be your chatbots. Today, whether it's Indian Railways or whether it's a private company, whether it's a bank, everybody uses a chatbot, no longer calling a call center and holding on to the phone to get your queries answered. They are very simple today. They give you ABC answer. Let's think of a scenario in which we make this intelligent. Let us say, I want to know, I'm a CIO, so I want to know, is there any issue in my systems as on date? If I ask that from my chatbot, today it may not be able to answer. But if I put an intelligent routine behind it, then suddenly it may pick up whatever is the morning report of the systems and tell me that, yeah, your systems were okay at 9 a.m. Let us say I am even more concerned because my ERP, SAP is something that my business relies on. And therefore I ask a question, can you tell me what is my ERP as on date or as of this moment? Now to a simple person, if we ask how is your car now, he would go into the car, found out fuel status, tire status, light is running or not. There is a series of checks that they do. You make that guy intelligent, it will go in, do a S-flight checkup of SAP and come out with your parameters to say, yeah, all your SIDs are running, or maybe I have found this issue in this system. You can further extrapolate it into the finance domain to say that how has been my vendor performing. And you can extrapolate it into human resources to find out how are the people and the systems running. A very simple interface, but it takes a lot of design, a lot of deep thinking to harness these emerging technologies into our business processes. So what is this stack all about? I mean, people talk about PyTorch, Llama, NVIDIA, there are n number of things. But at a simple scale, there is a hardware. At a middle layer, you have a model layer or something that we had the application layer earlier. And at the top layer, you have the ecosystems which use it. In my earlier example, it was a chat platform. That's all. From our perspective, we are not going to make a R&D or create a new model for our enterprises. From our systems, we are going to choose the models, we are going to choose the hardwares, and we are going to choose its impact on the applications which run our business processes. If you see it otherwise, I mean, sorry. If you see it otherwise, it is also sold as a service. When we say Gen AI ready data centers, there is a whole lot of change that is coming in the data center. It is not just like that you can convert 800 megawatts into projected 2400 megawatts. Because when you use Gen AI systems, they use GPUs. The GPUs consumes a lot of power. If you look at our data centers earlier in telco, when I was in Airtel, we were making 3 kVA data centers. As good as 2021 data centers, we were creating maximum 10 kilowatts per rack average data centers. But these guys are very, very power hungry. A rack can go as high as 50 kilowatts. And if you're looking like Kritim Ola, then you will have to put that rack on the side and use immersion cooling. That same rack space is going to consume 250 kilowatts. That is a lot of power to be consumed. That also means it has to be cooled. And that also means the communication paths are no longer LAN 1G and 10G. We are talking about 800 megabit connectivity or 1.6 terabit connectivity between the servers. So this is where the Gen AI data centers come in. At a second level, you could hire GPU as a service in an IaaS format to run your models. It is available with all hyperscalers. Most of the private cloud and OEMs give it. So you could consume that. And at larger scale, our applications also are coming out with, in their newer versions, with integrated models. A sample example of it was the Copilot from Microsoft in MS Office. So it is not that we have to do a standalone thing on our own. Most of our major application providers will come out with extensions which harness the generative AI. And we need to look from a perspective when we are in manufacturing, when we are in healthcare, when we are in consumer services, when we are in transport, when we are in logistics, on how to harness these enhancements into a composite systems that we can leverage to increase the functionality or enhance the reach of our business. So where does all of the AI fit into? And 4 simple things it delivers. One is assist. Assist in your driving, assist in the depth of the knowledge that you can query from your interface. Second is safe. We have seen this drive around safe city, smart city. No longer you have people stopping you for a challan. You get a photograph, you get all the proofs of what has been done. This safety is being enhanced at a further level. I mean, you could make a database of all, a database of facial recognition like UIDI of petty criminals if you want to safeguard something. And you could match it with your video analytics. And thereby you can safeguard a locality. You could also use the SAFE. One of the applications that we are trying to do in ICCC is with 4,000, 5,000 people sitting in a building, there are people who become ill also. So if suddenly somebody has freezed or somebody has fallen, can the motion detection analytics analyze it, identify the person, raise an alert so that the people on site can reach out to help? The third is augment. Augment is generally in the healthcare segment. How do you augment a person? I mean, yeah, there are universal things that you could do. But from a customer experience, creating your digital twins to try out whatever you want to do, to maybe your healthcare, you could augment the systems. Fourth is smart. And this is where is the maximum impact of 3.8 trillions. Your machines could be made smart. Earlier processes were You had normal machines and you had robotics and you had to make a manufacturing floor in a mixed match of them. What happens if the intelligence is embedded into every machine? Maybe we are looking at less consumer problems. Maybe the way that we measure Six Sigma in batches and then rejecting batches that reduces. Maybe the number of recalls of medicines, the number of recalls of manufactured goods, that goes down. So how are we doing it in data centers? In data centers, very simple. We have gone in for liquid cooling and immersion cooling to handle these high capacity GPUs. We have recently announced DC3 in Hyderabad, which is fully capable. We are also using the AI to run our data centers. Remember, we have got now smart homes, right from electricity to doors to lifts, everything can be controlled. We already have video analytics. We were already running DG sets, mechanical systems on SCADA, make them AI ready. And now suddenly you can plan a lot more things because there is a lot of granular things that come in. It is very simple to compare to microprocessor controlled cars erstwhile versus the earlier cars with normal carburetors. Today you go take your whatever latest car, they just download the data and tell you this is the problem. As compared to a mechanic sitting and trying to troubleshoot everything. There's the simple steps that we are taking in terms of energy efficiency, in terms of advanced monitoring to drive the outcome for the people, the hyperscalers, your data loads which are hosted in the physical environment of data center. Last, we could also take this from my S-Flight example as a self-healing operations platform. We've been working on this for last 5 odd years. We can deliver systems without errors in SAP landscapes, in core banking landscapes, in fixed deposits, in loan management systems, all that because all that error we can collate, we can match it to the patterns which are known for the downtimes, also what we call as knowledge error database, and we can come out with potentially risky systems that may misbehave during the day. So instead of looking at one screen, single monitoring screen for an enterprise view, we are looking at disturbed systems in our systems, which we call as SHOP, the full form, Self-Healing Operations Platform. So this is my last slide. The all-round digitization, which is to leverage and capture this 15.7 trillion of economy which is up for grab. This all-round digitization is what is leading to the current demand that we are seeing. With that, thank you very much.